This is so much more than just a game of dress-up. It's part of a years-long history lesson about powerful black women. One started in 2015 when Chauncey Boyd Rogers noticed her daughter Ava's class had nothing on the calendar for Black History Month.
You said, well, if they're not going to do it, I'm going to do it.
I'll do it. Yes, of course, she's going to learn about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Rosa Parks. And there are people that we hear about over and over again, but I wanted Ava to go deeper.
So the pair started researching stories and creating costumes, with Ava copying the looks crafted from items around the house. Through the years, Ava's portrayed more than 150 influential black women. One of the first, Phyllis Wheatley, a slave who published a book of poetry. Others include trailblazers like Harriet Tubman, research scientist Jane Hinton, icon and educator Shirley Chisholm, the first black woman elected to the United States Congress. Ava's learning about athletes too, even entertainers and artists.
I wanted her to just see that black women have done a lot of things. They've accomplished amazing things in every field, and that just helps her know that she can do and be anything.
The project, a hit on social media, with fans writing, "This is a historic moment," and "wonderful, informative. Even this made me cry." It's inspiring for 11-year-old Ava, too, as she looks to the future.
What do you think you want to do when you grow up?
I really, really want to be a singer and an actress. And I think that I'm kind of funny and I want to be a comedian. I also want to be an author.
The contributions of so many, creating unlimited possibilities thanks to these unique lessons.
It's a celebration.
Kamala Davy Harris.
But she can also see people who have persevered through America's past and even current times in America. And she can see that it is possible to be who she wants to be.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.